Harrison, why are you now wearing sunglasses inside all the fucking time?
They're subtle. They're subtle.
No, they're not.
Wanna make that paper, wanna make that dough. This is the affiliate marketing show. Wanna make that paper, wanna make that dough.
What's up, everybody? This is Josh coming to you with another episode of the Affiliate Marketing Show. If you're not hip to OfferVault.com, make sure you check it out. We are the industry's #1 aggregator of affiliate networks, direct advertisers, offers, and everything affiliate marketing. Today, we have Adam Young, the CEO and founder of Ringba, your #1 pay-per-call tracking platform. We also have the industry legend, Harrison Gevirtz, and we also have Vic, Johnny Bling Vallo, the new money CEO and the COO of Mobile Pushers. What's up, Vic? Is it Vallo or Valo? I have a thing for messing up our guest name, so I want to make sure I get this right.
It's Vallo, Vic Vallo. Vic
Vallo. What's up, Vic? Where are you talking to us from today?
I'm at my house in Atlanta, my office right now in Atlanta. My other office is in Miami, downtown Miami, and I am from Chicago. I'm a Chicago native. Harrison, I'm not going to say his name, but his former colleague of mine as well, lives in Skokie, so North Chicago. So I'm familiar with the whole terrain. So I get around. There we go. Yeah.
Nice, man. Yeah. Well, go ahead, Adam.
I like your shirt, Vic. I like that you got a $sign embroidered on that shit.
Yes.
I need to start embroidering $signs on my clothing. I think that's the next level. I'll be there soon, Adam. I'm gonna learn how to embroider.
The idea, the concept is new money, international, but creating a foundation for new beginnings. I've always realized when it comes to marketing, I bring new ideas, concepts, all of that to anybody's one thing. So yeah, the $sign is just international, global. It's a business. Yeah.
Vic, can you explain where Johnny Bling comes from?
So I am a music producer, full-time music producer from back in the day. I've been in the music business 25 years. On my first record label at 16, I managed 10 artists in Chicago, but everybody knows Chicago was just slept on, right? You couldn't make it out them streets, right? Until Chief Keef and all of that Chirac crap. But I grew up in the era of Kanye. I knew a lot of people. He knew a guy named Twista, a bunch of guys, right? So from back in the day, I managed several acts and just independently got that going. So Johnny Bling is my moniker in terms of that. And I produced for several artists as well. What was happening at that time is the internet, right? So websites like DatPiff, World Star, Hip Hop, a bunch of stuff, and guys were doing mixtapes, right? So I just completely switched my wanting to get the big record deal swag to let's just start putting out music. And that's, fundamentally at that time, I was putting music out with artists on mixtapes, promoting them. And that's what led me to digital marketing. So that's early on, like 2008. So the whole idea of me being a record label CEO versus an advertising executive was just like how, it really came down to the point of how do we make money from downloads, right?
I gotta touch base on one thing. You mentioned DatPiff. Adam and I did run a campaign on DatPiff once. We didn't actually do so well on it, but I just have to say, I think I can speak for Adam here. We've made millions of dollars thanks to DatPiff, not on the advertising, but to the mixtapes.
So Harrison, okay, so let's turn so I came up with an idea. Let's monetize MP3s, downloadable content. At the time, it was only podcasting, right? So heavy, I'm in the industry, I'm looking like I need solutions. The first solution that was presented to me outside podcasts, because that was like a hit or miss at the time, there was no real thing, was surveys, was advertising, was the whole email submits or whatever, but there was no technology to combine the two. So I got with a colleague of mine who also happens to be a DJ, I'm not gonna say his name, and we launched a site called mixtapeevolution.com, right? And at the same time, I'm dealing with a guy that owns worldstarhiphop.com, and he rest in peace, I'm not gonna say his name. I'm dealing with the owner of datpiff.com, so I'm just hitting them. I know a couple of contacts in the industry. I'm just hitting them like, yo, we can make money with these surveys, content locking, CPA lead, Azoogle ads. It was a bunch of different, I'm back in the day. It's like this. Who is this guy bringing this concept to, this format? And that's when early on I got with companies like Clash Media that ended up becoming Fluent. A bunch of guys to kind of build out the idea that you can make money when somebody tries to download your project. So to reiterate, I was using the Johnny Bling moniker to build the relation, bridge the gap, basically my industry connections, and then this new advertising stuff that was going on the marketing side. And at that time, I was the first publisher for a company called CPA Lead. I was working with a couple of other what we used to call
the old school name. CPA Lead used to have the big booth at Affiliate Summit. I don't even know I think they're still around. I'm sorry if you're still around, guys, but I don't know.
A few of my like everybody, ad tech back in the day was you had to, right? But these guys were, willing and dealing in the garage, right? They were building these new conceptual things. So co-registration was the palette for us at that time, because you can literally, those email submits was all they were really working at that time, right? So that'll go into more or less the arbitrage error or whatever.
Hey, Vic, can I jump in and ask a quick question real quick? I know you mentioned content locking, and I know Adam has quite a bit of knowledge on this. Adam, real quick, can you walk us through and break down?
Let's summarize that. Yeah, content locking and co-reg, because they kind of are one and the same, but for some newer, marketers, maybe Adam, just give us a little summary.
So content locking, I don't think is real big anymore, but back around 2008, 2009, 2010, what marketers would do is they would offer a piece of free content, hence the term content locking. So that could be, like Vic was saying, an MP3 file or a mixtape or an ebook or a piece of software or fonts or basically anything that's downloadable or an information product. And you'd go to a website and you would want to download this mixtape, and it would say, hey, if you want to download this mixtape, please take this quick survey. And a lot of these surveys were incentive offer surveys. And so you'd have to go through the survey and complete some sort of action. And then your reward for doing that would be the mixtape or the piece of content. And a lot of this was like IQ quizzes that resulted in SMS or cell phone billing. It could be, fill out an email submit to get a free iPod, and then like go through the path, and you'd have to sign up for a bunch of offers to get your free iPod, and then you could download the content. But basically, you were offering the content as a hook to get people to submit their information, to be contacted by marketers, or to complete some sort of offer. And so this was like right in the middle of the incentive offer craze that happened around that time period, and that led into more co-reg offers. And a few years later, we saw the birth of pretty big co-reg companies that started offering these types of surveys. Back in the day, they were ValueClick, which is no longer around, and I'm sure Harrison can mention 25 more of these companies. But a lot of marketers, such as myself, cut our teeth running co-reg offers, lead generation, one field offers, and content locking offers. And so I know it's a bit of a history lesson, but a lot of the same. Well, the modern day version, it still kind of exists, Adam, is offer walls on iPhone apps, like for games and stuff. So there's not like co-reg offers where it's like click here if you're interested in that, etc. It's still around a little bit, but much less. But like if you play games on your phone, it's like, do you want to buy tokens or like download this app and you'll get some points. So it's still kind of there, but it's not what it used to be for sure. Shout out to Chris at Aptitude Media. That's all he does. Yeah.
At one point in time, there was a handful of companies that were like intriguingly like just behind the scenes running, kind of puppeteering the industry at that time, right? And I just kind of worked my way up the totem pole, no homo, in terms of getting leverage, right? Because here I am, this guy that's in this music business at the time when nobody's paying for download, like they're not paying for anything. iTunes is the only player. So I'm thinking like, yo, if I build out this portal, build out this website, this app, I could be the front of the industry in terms of monetizing digital content, right? So that was my call to fame in terms of where I was at. So automatically I'm in LA with some proverbial partners and pitching the ideas, concepts, and a couple of guys that I'm dealing with or talking to right now, names came up. I'm not going to say any names per se, but Harrison has an inclination, and we, automatically we locked in, right? So I'm thinking I finally got
Vic, you're allowed to say Ryan Eagle. It's cool. It's cool.
Okay,
it's not Voldemort. It's not Voldemort. It's all good.
At the time, the people that I was dealing with were letting me know who the major players were behind a lot of the networks, so to speak, arbitrage in theory. And of course, Ryan came up, Harrison came up, and we, me being incumbent or built on working with the entertainment industry, these guys have already laid it out on the marketing side at that time in that era, right? The incentive marketing era that Adam pointed out, right? So intentionally, I'm dealing with these middlemen. The content locking companies, the co-reg companies are all middlemen, right? I need to lock in to what so I'm working my way up from the surveys to the co-reg path to the actual billing mechanism. And that's when it was like one and done. So I put out a project with a major rapper. His name is Gucci. I'm gonna just leave it right there. Who's on the mixtape scene.
I'm a big fan. Big fan.
So,
Bro, I need to start a list of names that are being dropped on this episode because it's getting
We're
long.
not allowed to say names, apparently. No names are allowed on this episode.
Yeah.
It wasn't just him. It was a bunch of people. Like I said, I'm flipping the whole idea of taking what's working, digital marketing surveys, the shit that people don't want. Can I curse on here? Is that okay?
Oh yeah. We marked this on YouTube.
Encouraged.
On YouTube, it says not for children, and we click that every time. So we're good here.
So the shit that people do not want, and I'm going to the artists like, yo, you're putting out content. You're content heavy, right? The Brazers, I'm dealing with them. The company Manwin in Canada, right? So I'm reaching out to them, connecting with these people. I start going to the conferences. I had watched one of you guys' earlier podcast, and you guys, are pointed upon bringing up, the ability to go to. I'm a kid from the South Side of Chicago, right? I have to grind for everything that so my hustle takes me to these places where I'm networking in Spain and Asia, all over the world, because I'm not gonna, if I have a train of thought, an idea, I just get to it, man. I can't, you can't, have to, right now, you have Instagram, TikTok. I didn't have that. We had MySpace and Facebook, and not everybody was on that. So, you had to go to their email. You had to manually type out the script, articulate your ideas and your visions, and then go, knock on their door like, yo, and that's how I would do it. And that's why, like I said, I was able to move so tremendously in my efforts because nobody else was doing it, right? So that gave me growth. But everybody knows what's good in affiliate marketing does not always last. So, the industry came tumbling down, co-reg companies crashing, email submit advertisers, huge lead gen companies just, got X'd out. What happened was the business of it went international, right? That's what really happened. And I told myself, let me try to figure out what's going on. Let me figure out the framework, the structure of the business, so forth and so forth. So, that era really taught me that, the value of this business, the long term. So my insight, my assessment of where the business going came from that, and that was like 2013, 2014. Right. So automatically, like I said, just to see Harrison here, I feel like he's the last of a dying breed. You guys in your recollect in terms of your history in this business, where did this all start? This came from out of nothing, right? So that passion of wanting to monetize digital content allowed me to be a digital marketer. And then I went from that straight up into, what is currently affiliate marketing, right? So, I did preserve some topics, but if you want to, Josh, go to the next thing, we can. That's my history, man.
Well,
That's my
hold
history.
on. I want to ask a question. If Harrison's the last of a dying breed, what am I?
Adam, listen,
You got fucked on that one, bro.
let me take that one back. Adam, I'm sorry. Your history really comes, for me at least, really comes into 2018, 2019, right? Because the whole time I have this history and I'm studying marketing, blah, blah, blah. I actually go back to Chicago and I get with my first cousin, like my mother's brother. This is one of his sons. And that actually happened to be Ron, right? So Ron was dabbling in marketing, and I had no idea. I'm like, yo, fam, do you understand what you're doing? Like, you have no context of the industry that I'm a part of, that you can, that is attached to that, that what was it like the e-com era, the earphone, the beat, the Dre's, the whole shebang or whatever. He just happened to be testing a new vertical at that time called pay-per-call, right? And that is when I was like, what are you using? And even then, some of your competitors were like, the preferred solution, so to speak. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention them on here as well.
Well, we'll leave it, but I love how you said "were." The key word there was "were," the preferred solution.
I mean, so you again, being in this business, branding, I live by your network is your net worth. I live by that,
sure.
Right? So the power of your network, now that I see the association, like I said, with Harrison, I had no idea. I just found out literally at Affiliate Summit that he was, behind Ringba along with you. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like crazy.
Well, Vic, I'm going to send you a photo. I have photo evidence of Harrison and I doing things on the internet in 2009. I have pictures. I'm going to send them to you.
Yes, I
I've
know.
been around,
bro.
So
there's some good ones.
So
let's transition here, because you brought up pay-per-call. And Ron is a friend of mine, great customer, very smart individual in the space. Have a lot of respect for his creative talent. And I think that's something that the affiliate marketing industry has some of the best talent in the world on is just creativity, right? Like, it never ceases to amaze me how creative affiliates are. And one of the coolest things about the industry, and I was just telling a friend of mine this the other day, is if you're a creative, hardworking individual and you have that work ethic and creativity, you don't need anything else. You literally can start with zero and become a millionaire in our industry. And it's one of the last places that exists where kids in their parents' basement can take an internet connection and just start crushing it. And frankly, a few of us on this call may have started in our parents' basement with no money, crushing it on the internet, this guy. And so that's still possible today. And it's something I love about the industry. But one of the evolutions that I have seen and obviously invested heavily in is pay-per-call. And I'd like to talk about that. And maybe, Vic, you can tell us your opinion on why you think pay-per-call is an incredible opportunity as opposed to some of these affiliate marketing offers that, die off in 6 weeks and you got to start all over again.
So as I said, network is your network, right? So, and I'm glad we jumped to this. And I'll bring up my history with Ron and connection parallel to what you just said, right? So again, pay-per-call pay-per-call is still, to me, understanding the business is incredibly in its infancy. So the potential is right? It's there, right? So if you logistically, if you got to be dialed in, right? So because you're setting up coding, you're designing websites, you're connecting this platform with that platform, the communication, the latency, the even the preferred client, right? So the people that are actually buying the calls on the back end, if they don't got their crap together, how do you scale, right? And in affiliate marketing, we're all about scaling, right? It's just, to me, affiliate marketing is new age distribution, digital distribution 2.0, 3.0, right? So when you put a call on your back end or as your conversion point, right? If you're not,
Wait,
and
let me just clarify that. Do you mean we're moving clicks instead of moving bricks?
let's go. I'm with that. I'm definitely with that.
That's pretty good, dude.
No, honestly,
All right.
I get the allure of, hey, I can get paid 60, 70, $80 for a 2-minute phone call, right? But, that call center, if that sales team isn't, and you want to scale to 1,000, 2,000 calls a day, like there are literally guys that just think they can make $1 million. Like I said, the potential is there, but the skill set required to scale an operation or pay-per-call business is, like I said, your network is your net worth. You have to have the right buyers, the right partners, the right technology. Ringba, of course, is established enough to build anybody's pay-per-call business. But how do you find out about Ringba? How do you go in and scale that, right? Because I talk to affiliates all the time, pay-per-call new guys that they can barely post a link on a website and run traffic to it, right? So pay-per-call within itself, if you're not dialed in, if you're not focused or polished, disciplined enough to want to understand that business model, then I wouldn't suggest that be your entry point, right? You just, the core of what we do, of course, Adam, is media buying, right? I think with what you do, it's about position. So pay-per-call is a positional thing to me. It's still in its infancy. If you got some clout, if you got some like I said, some distribution, some number, you doing numbers, yeah, it's moving clicks to bricks, man. That's you right where you need to be. But the growth of it needs to be like, because I know plenty of guys that take their credit card and Google, Facebook, just hammering it, trying to generate phone calls. But man, they're dying. Like ACA right now. I mean, if they ask them within 30 seconds, do they have this, that, and the third? And if they do, click, right? So each phone call is costing you $10, $20, $30 to generate, and automatically your business is gone, right? So pay-per-call being in its infancy, to me, it's just lead generation. It's the baby of what's really coming. And that's lead generation for all small, mid to large size digital businesses. COVID didn't do anything except push everybody into the space now where they have, like, if you don't have, my wife just designed a website and she's an actress, nurse, went to college, the whole thing. She doesn't do digital marketing, but she got with Wix and started building her website. Hey, babe, I need you to send traffic to it. Help me, it's a Christian bookstore, right? So like I said, everybody is trying to figure out digital marketing right now or need some form of digital representation. You tell them to do pay-per-call, they're gonna look at you like you know what I'm saying? So to me, it's generating leads, right? So that's the business model in itself. I feel like Harrison and I both know structurally lead generation has always been.
Let me just jump in, Vic. I'd say two things. Number one, a little analogy. You say it's in its infant stages, and I think Adam and I have had some in-depth conversations about this where it's true. The pay-per-call kind of world has so much growth and potential to it. But like when we started Ringba, like the conversation was like, calls, who the hell? No one uses the phone. And we would look at them like, trust me, people use the phone for high value or high important purchases, maybe in insurance or credit repair or financial service type stuff. They use the phone. They trust it more than just filling out a site. But your analogy to lead generation intrigues me because one of the things that I've always said is that an inbound call is simply an engaged lead. It's a warm lead. It's a lead that took the initiative to pick up the phone and call, and so it's essentially just a better lead. But it's not wrong to say that if you're buying traffic to generate calls, you're still a lead generator. You're just generating really hot fucking leads versus some stale bullshit.
Something, my tangent, I mean, my I don't even know if that's the right expression or word, but what I get fussy, right? My thing is, right, you and I, Adam, Josh, you guys, I know you guys understand the bigger picture. We're bigger picture thinkers, right? So you take a guy that does not know anything about digital marketing with the idea that he can promote health insurance, right? Health insurance, a government-backed, like, billion-dollar industry, right? At a subset vertical, pay-per-call.
I think
right?
it's trillion.
Okay. No pun intended, right? And these guys, like I said, they come into the thing, they get on Facebook, they start setting up random ads, throwing traffic to it, whatever. And the idea of the evergreen vertical, the evergreen business model, traffic source, everything is being sacrificed. Like it's being sacrificed because now what's happening is CMS and all of these huge regulators are like, they're getting 10,000 complaints a day about this, that, and the third of some guys just trying to make a quick buck. But like I said, if we don't, this brings me into my other topic where I just feel like we're killing our industry, right? We're killing the potential of affiliate marketing, pay-per-call, lead generation, because we have a bunch of random guys that aren't. I gave you guys a link to a free guide, by the way, that if you can, please post to get people some formal structure of understanding how to make thousands a day promoting insurance online. Because if that's what you want to scale, because it makes sense from lead generation, phone calls, opt-ins, a vertical that will stay paying, and then your traffic source is an abundant of traffic source, then do it right? Just take the initiative to, find out how to get with that affiliate network, get with that offer, get that buy, and, put the whole thing together. Don't just come in and try to throw up some ads, because again, you're not going to make any real obvious money because you think another guy brought a nice car or a house with something. Those guys are, they're plugged in. That to me, that's the paper call.
Well,
I'm not trying
to. No. I think I agree with you. I think that the difference between pay-per-call and, some of these offers or affiliate offers where you can make quick money is you really have to think about what you're doing with pay-per-call. It's not that you're just going to take a link and drive some traffic to it and get some commissions. You really have to think about, your back end, how many call centers you're going to work with, how to route your phone calls. I mean, this is self-serving, but you absolutely have to have technology if you're going to be involved in the pay-per-call industry at any sort of scale. And it takes more work. But on the other side of that, instead of every 6 to 8 weeks where you're having to come up with a new angle or new offer or a new industry entirely because your advertiser lost his merchant account or something, pay-per-call is an amazing space because it has the longevity. Like Terminex is not going anywhere. Like people are going to need their windows repaired. Everyone needs auto insurance by law, right?
Yeah.
So like these things aren't going anywhere. And if affiliates would take that creativity and commit to actually building a real business, you can make a significant amount of money, if not more than most crappy affiliate offers in pay-per-call. But it's not going to be like 15 minutes on a weekend. You're going to have to put in the time and invest in building a real business. And so, Vic, my mission since we founded Ringba is to provide opportunities and teach people how to get into pay-per-call, because I think that affiliates and people in the affiliate industry can really build sustainable businesses and a future for themselves and provide jobs to people and opportunities and make a lot of money and do it the right way in an industry that will last. And like, you can't build a foundational business on top of acai berry rebuilds. Like that shit is not a real opportunity. Sure, you can make some money, but it's gonna be gone.
You can burn a business to the ground doing it. Trust me, I've done it.
Exactly. And so that's why pay-per-call is an amazing opportunity, because it's sustainable, it has longevity, and if you do it right and you think about compliance and you think about providing quality to your partners, you can make an immense amount of money in pay-per-call. I mean, look, Ringba's already helped people make more than $1 billion in 2023 already, and so like there's plenty of meat on that bone, baby.
Come on. So let me reiterate who I am again. I am the Chief Operating Officer of Mobile Pushers, the mobile performance advertising agency / network. I manage the network portion. Ron manages the agency, the call. So, understand I am fully invested in the pay-per-call, the future, the outlook, right? Another reason why I'm reiterating that is because I'm gonna tell you the future of what pay-per-call is, right? What's happening is the affiliates themselves, I'm not saying any names, right? With the training and with the, the advertising, the banner, come do pay-per-call or whatever, is basically creating the yellow brick road for the, there was a time, let me give an example. Medicare huge vertical for us last year. Bada boom, bada bang, right? Using lead magnets, bada boom, bada bang. Over the counter, groceries, blah, 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 blah. It all makes sense because seniors like free shit. They do, right? No actual insurance company really had policies. I'm also a licensed health insurance agent, so no actual insurance company was allowing you to market that type of stuff, right? Fast forward a year later, United Healthcare, $400 billion company, literally advertises free groceries, over the counter, right? On Facebook with landing pages, accepting calls, right? So what's happening is the larger companies are going direct to the publisher, right? The publishers that you guys advertise on Facebook, Google, TikTok, whatever, right? They're ripping your ads and they're putting entire media buying departments. I'm talking about entire, like in the boardroom, they're going over this affiliate's marketing plan. The same thing that us as affiliates use to scale a campaign. These guys are putting corporate money behind it. And essentially, they're not going to need some third-party marketing organization to take a risk or defer customers because the branding orientation is not connected, right? They're going to completely eradicate that, and that's what I feel like is happening because guys, again, in essence, don't understand the idea of what lead generation could be, right? So me and a few of my partners are trying to create and form alliances, right, with companies that we utilize, like Ringba, like a few affiliate networks, a few vendors in the space, tracking vendors and so forth, right? Because this is technically, we're the last of the Jedi, so to speak, right? And this is the Empire stepping in. When you have these large credit repair companies, insurance companies, the mass torts, like torts heavy, right? Nobody was taking, you can be compensated from, those 30-minute commercials or whatever weren't really being advertised where, you call this and you can make some money, blah, 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 you can be compensated. All of that, what I'm saying is we're creating the case study for them, right? There's no blueprint on how these companies can take what they're doing on TV and come into digital marketing. Marketing where their users now, the grandparents, the people that are on Facebook, and then advertise and tell them to call a number. We are designing our demise in real time, right?
Well, let me jump in real quick,
know.
Vic. I think that Adam and I could both. I don't have enough fingers, but I could list out so many times before we did anything in the call world where we had ads, we had campaigns, and the advertisers ganked our shit and tried to do it themselves. And I think there's two arguments that. Number one, it happens. The big companies do it. The small advertisers do it. It doesn't matter if we're talking about calls or dating or Nutra, whatever. It happens. But as long as an affiliate keeps kind of like optimizing and, like working on new ideas and, continuing to work on their shit and doesn't coast, then they're still in a safe place. Now, I don't disagree with you that there's a lot of consolidation in the space, that there's a lot of, hey, we saw their ads, why should we pay him X per call? We'll just do it ourselves. But, and Adam can attest this, sometimes people try to do it, they just don't do it as well. And then they still you also need affiliates to have diversification amongst your distribution.
Yeah, there's a risk profile that these public companies are going to look at, and it's one thing to do all your marketing internally, but they need to make sure that they're diversifying their advertising risk across multiple channels to acquire users. Because if for some reason their internal media buying starts to fail, they need to still fill those call centers. They're not going to fire all the agents. And so from an affiliate point of view, Harrison said it, we have seen this numerous times across a whole slew of different industries. It's happened to us a lot. I've gotten into plenty of fights with advertisers over them. Literally, like we have had back in the day, advertisers straight steal our landing pages and then run their own traffic at the same traffic sources to our landing pages, And by the way, if you're an affiliate, don't ever stand for that shit. Go fight with the advertiser. Get your money. Don't let them do it. Okay. But at the end of the day, things do change, but the advertisers still keep the affiliate channel open. They still want to diversify their risk. And if you're talking about a really large public company and they're spending billions of dollars annually on user acquisition, those companies need to have an omni-channel approach. They need the affiliate channel, they need their internal channel, and they need their, their TV, their direct mail, their digital, their OTT, all their different channels. And their call center infrastructure is so incredibly large, and their budgets are so incredibly large. They have to keep all these channels open, because if one drops, or they have an issue, or their TV ads don't get delivered, or there's a problem with something, they need to make sure that their call center agents aren't sitting idle, because they're literally talking about millions of dollars an hour worth of sales. And so, as an old affiliate, I respect your cynicism and I don't disagree with you, but I do want to give you some hope, some light at the end of that tunnel, baby, that these affiliate channels aren't going anywhere, and that we only see volume growing.
Well, like I said, it's taking new shape, right? Just the way, like I said, the pin submits, the surveys took new shape. That became antivirus offers, pop unders, Adele, blah blah blah. Everything just taking new shape. Believe me, bro. I'm right there with you. Like I want it done, because that's like, you know what I'm saying? If that thing, there's gonna be something else at least. But that goes into, like I said, I'm giving you insight into the future, right? So, like right now with the end of OEP, AEP, that was the talk of the town for a lot of everybody in the business, right? I remember, and I was telling Ron that, there were, at one point in time, there was literally nobody buying ads outside of Facebook, right? There's nobody, now all of a sudden, the affiliate networks are converting to pay-per-call networks. They're hiring, their teams are now focused on pay-per-call. I don't think the industry's dying. I think it's just taking new shape, and like the companies we had talked about, DMS and partners of mine on both sides, ClickDealer. I know that the CEOs, I know a lot of them personally. I do business with them every single day. That to me is the like I said, the last republic when it comes to or the old republic coming back and creating an alliance that can create a fortified affiliate marketing like our stance, right? That's why I really referenced that, because one of the companies, they're big in home services or whatever. Home services is going to be the future of pay-per-call, and health insurance if they don't kill it. And mass torts, the class action lawsuits are going to be huge verticals on the premise to give what you're saying some gravity. They're going to keep pay-per-call alive. Why? Because of video advertising being the next wave, if it's not already the wave. And then in that fashion, video advertising isn't per se for just your general media buyer. Video advertising is going to sit with influencers. So that gives the influencer industry gravity, right? So the influencer becomes the new age affiliates. Right? A lot of that money in terms of that omni-channel approach, when it comes to affiliate marketing, it's already taken shape. Like you heard, the CPMs, so forth and so forth. All of that's coming into, CPA, the e-coms, the all of that is going to jump into lead generation eventually, where it's going to be tolerable, it's going to make sense, and it's going to have scale, right? So to me, and you can quote me on this, guys, all right? Viral is the new platform, right? Keywords are the new social media networks, right? Keywords are the new social media, and virality is the new platform, right? Not none of the what I'm saying, all of these walled gardens, right? These PMPs, these private marketplaces, these platforms, like if you just heard Samsung was talking about removing removing Google from its devices in exchange for Microsoft, right? So big boy shit, like literally, right? It's that emphasis on everybody, right? Knowing the value of first party data, right? It's a conference, right? At least the publishers or the platforms that have scale, right? Not the like I said, the willing and dealing, taking a risk affiliate marketer. No, it's going to be the athletes, celebrities, the makeup artists, because China's already doing it, right? Where the incumbent, is they're buying up a lot of those influencers in China and just putting out video content and becoming these the new age Google, so to speak, but just built off of content, right? So, like I said, keywords, content is the new, the new social networks, and viral is the new platform, and that's where I feel like the industry is going. And lead generation will.
Yeah, and I just want to say shout out to DMS and Click Dealer. Congrats on that deal we got going there. But I do want to touch on this as well, Vic. I haven't got a chance to jump in here. I'm like the student listening to the masters. So Harrison talked about people making big purchases. They want to call a phone number, and a topic we beat with a dead horse on this show is AI. We're not going to go into that, but I would bring up the idea that as technology advances, do you feel like it's possible people start trusting the internet to make their bigger purchases as technology is increasing? Do you think pay-per-call will only move with that advancement in technology? Do you see it as a threat in any way, shape, or form, or you don't think it's going to affect anything? And we'll go to all the guys on this.
Okay. Whoever, you want me to go first?
We'll go to Vic. Yeah, dude, you're the guest of honor. Lead us off. Let's go.
AI is fake. Chat GPT is BS. Fake intelligence, artificial intelligence, there's no directive, right? Elon Musk backs the company. It's the new Bitcoin. It's the new, you know what I'm saying? We're still about 20 or 30 years out from anything intellectually like commercial usage, right? There's the idea of what these platforms are doing. They're using AI to basically throw the dog the stick type vibe, right? It's all like I said. There's no us. Come on, guys, think about this honestly. Like, think about what you were doing as a kid and what you're doing now, right? The growth of blockchain, like Bitcoin is completely, you know what I'm saying? Blockchain is basically Bitcoin is the weed and blockchain is the blunt. Right? It's the same thing with artificial intelligence. Chat GPT is about to get smoked up by the competitors, by regulations. Right now people are using Drake and masking his voice with The Weeknd. The Universal Music Group, which just happens to be former partners of mine, they're going to, incumbent. The network is your network, so they operate at the network level. So automatically, they're going to shut down any distribution platform publisher that is allowed.
Well, Harrison has a lot of thoughts on ChatGPT and a huge fan of The Weeknd. Harrison, do you think this is going to affect Ringba or pay-per-call in any way?
I think consumers have definitely began to trust the internet to go higher value and complete stuff online. But I think in general, the ChatGPT stuff, there will be a time when it's better than us at a lot of stuff. And so, it will be a place, there's going to be like actual AI type solutions that help make these decisions. But I think right now, like we've all played with ChatGPT and OpenAI, whatever. There's a lot, it's like cool, but it leaves a lot to be desired, So for me, I don't think it's going to affect like the call space. I think where I do see an opportunity is in a few years, it might affect who's answering those calls, and you might think you're talking to a human and you might not be. But people like senior citizens are still, and some senior citizens do complete their entire, Medicare policy application and form a submission, whatever, online. But some people might be making a phone call and think they're talking to Janet, but Janet's not real. And that's kind of wild.
I think there's going to be regulation for disclosure of talking to an actual bot on the phone. I think it's going to get so human-like that it will be almost like, when you call and they're like, hi, this call may be recorded for quality assurance. It's going to be like, hi, this call is you actually talking to artificial intelligence. And I think there's going to have to be some sort of disclosure there, because I think like vinyl records, Josh, people are going to want the tangibility and the emotional connection of actually talking to a human. And that experience we've seen even in the past when talking to really crappy IVRs, or sometimes you call customer service, you get connected overseas and all you really want is to speak to an American. I think the same kind of thing is going to happen, that people are going to want to talk to a human, and that AI is going to have to be disclosed. And when it's disclosed to you, you're kind of going to have this feeling, at least for a generation, right? Until it kills us or we get used to it, people are going to be like, oh, hey, I'm great. I'm talking to AI. All right, fine. Or they're just going to yell at the phone like representative or human, or they might not want to deal with the bot at all because there's something to be said for human connection and just having a normal conversation with people. And if it's something that's really important to you, like a mortgage or auto insurance or, getting picked up on the side of the road because your tire is flat, you're going to want to talk to a human. And so
even now there's services that are trying to use these automated things, and they're not AI, but the IVR where it's like you talk to the human and they talk back to you. I was recently working on like a lease application, and they outsourced it to a company, and I had to call because I couldn't upload a document that they wanted, and they said human customer service, and it was like fake human, and I literally yelled like, get me a fucking human, and they still wouldn't give me a human. But that wasn't even like AI. It's just this automated shit, and people don't want it. So I think you're right. Even when it becomes more intelligent, people want to be able to interact with a human being. And so until it's good enough to make you think you're talking to a human, I think, regulation or not, I don't see it being as big of a problem as some people do.
Harrison, you and I, we both been in the space for pretty much a long time, right? You know about mobile technology and what it takes to support the billions of dollars that are invested into getting all of this, right? You guys are talking about conversational things. The latency isn't there. The way ChatGPT sources that information in real time, I don't feel like no one company is going to bet their entire business with some type of artificial intelligent being, some bias being that's not being housed by a company that is not ran internally. I don't think, unless they make the investment themselves, and then you have the third world countries where the satellite feed isn't there. These guys barely have phones to connect to YouTube. So like I said, artificial intelligence right now, maybe we're about 30, 50 years out from any real groundbreaking, maybe health industry, but in terms of affiliate marketing, unless,
30 years might be a stretch, Vic. It's going to come sooner than that. But you're not wrong.
It comes quick.
A lot of these voice systems that claim to be AI are not algorithmic AI systems that are trained on machine learning data. They're simply transcription of voice with keyword spotting or if then else statements. If grandma says, yes, then play this MP3 file of the next voice. Like, it's not some sort of artificial intelligence that's having a real conversation. I think ChatGPT is obviously more advanced than that, but we're talking about the quote unquote AI call transfer systems. It's not that at all. It's literally keyword spotting and transcription text, and it's nowhere near where it needs to be to actually eat the industry. If it were that good, people would just be using it for everything. But really, the most performant warm transfer programs out there right now are still humans in America that are doing the warm transfers. And until the technology gets way better, it's not going to even displace the foreigners before it gets to the Americans. So we do have a ways to go yet. I think 30 years is a stretch, but we'll see major progress in the next 2 to 5 years. And then we'll probably have to recalibrate on how a lot of these interactions go. But I think at the end, once a caller is qualified, it's still going to end its way up to a human to do the final closing, answer the questions, do the final sale. Because I think it's going to be a trust issue. And if the AI gets an answer wrong and the answer is wrong and you want the right answer, you have to get to a human to correct that. And we're a really long way away from that. I mean, even ChatGPT spits out inaccurate information all the time, and it will get better. But
I want to go back to
not going to replace humans right away.
I want to go back to the future of paper call here, Adam. From a big bird's eye view, what's your opinion on the future of paper call? Like, where can it go? Because I feel like it's already so developed. Like, what are your out of the box thoughts in terms of where the industry can go? Parts of the world that it's not already in. In general, just the future of the space.
Well, right now, obviously, it's the most mature in the United States, and there are pay-per call campaigns that are running in other countries, but they're really, really fragmented. They're, onesie, twosie type campaigns. That will change, and it will change in order of like first, second, third world. So you'll see more pay-per call campaigns in the UK and Europe and Australia. And it will continue to spread this way because it's simply just a billing model that works really well. And just like any other affiliate campaign, it'll go international, and it'll expand into other countries. We're not seeing huge proliferations in other countries, but Ringba does offer phone numbers in something like 65 or 75 countries, maybe even more than that. But we don't see a huge amount of call volume there because there's no real standardization yet, but it will come. And in the United States, we're seeing an immense amount of growth in all verticals. And as these things get standardized and more people enter the space on both the supply and the demand side, and technology gets better, you're going to see this continue to grow in a really, really big way. Vic is right. We are at the infancy of this thing, and there are tens of billions of dollars a year in opportunity in the space. It's a massive channel. And one other thing that we're seeing is the real proliferation of real-time bidding in the space. And so a few years ago, we put out our ring trees and our real-time bidding technology, and we are seeing exponential growth in the adoption of that type of technology, and just a real fundamental shift in how the industry is addressing the buying and selling of phone calls using technology. And so we continue to invest a huge amount of money, like millions and millions of dollars, into the development of that type of technology. And I think we are at the very beginning of how phone calls are, very beginning of how phone calls are bought and sold using programmatic technology. We're like 15 years behind display and things like AppNexus and the Index Exchange, and how banners are traded on the internet, but phone calls are headed in the same direction. It's just a matter of pushing the technology forward so that people can do it. And so, I realize, again, biased opinion here because I am the CEO of Ringba, but I think we are still at the beginning of the adoption curve. And as technology continues to improve, you're going to see just a huge shift in the market and just an immense amount of opportunity that's available to everyone that gets involved. And also with the FCC changes that are still proposed, they're pushed a year out. I think lead generation and outbound dialing is it's going to continue to be around, but I think it's a futile investment and a fight not worth having. You have to get someone on the phone anyways. And so if you can get someone to pick up the phone and call you who's ready to buy, that's always going to be better than outbound. No one likes making outbound phone calls. No one likes answering cold calls. Like, there's nothing fun about any of that. The consumers hate it. The agents hate it. The government hates it. Like, everyone fucking hates it. And so the solution to that is to simply shift your marketing methods to get consumers to pick up the phone and do consumer-initiated inbound calls. It solves all the problems. It removes all the risk. It makes the quality better. The agents are order takers instead of salespeople that hate their jobs. And so I really see inbound phone calls as the future of marketing that involves getting on the phone. And I think we're going to fundamentally see most of the outbound dialing and most of the outbound dialing methods get really regulated. And the carriers keep making it harder and harder to do outbound. And those trends aren't going to change. And so if you want to get in early, Josh, now's the time to really start thinking about how to generate an inbound call and really start to understand the industry. And you can catch the tidal wave way out into the ocean before it makes landfall still.
Josh, let me just intersect real quick and just offer a comment to what he's saying. On the marketing side of things, again, in real time right now, this very moment, I think it's going to merge. Pay-per-call is going to merge into CPL, right? So cost per lead, and then it may more or less become a single opt-in or a double opt-in. So not only did the lead just sign up, but when they called, it was a double opt-in, right? So I feel like there's some level of lead generation from back in the day that's just re-presenting itself, and it's going to take off this year, early next year. It just needs the verticals that have scalability, which just happens to be AEP, OEP, these, health insurance, and a few other, like you were talking about. Terminex is not going nowhere, but they take a lead instantly, right? So the lead with the data, right? The phone call with the data, right? I feel like that's a whole incumbent thing, and the technologies that it takes to merge that right now are being situated. And I think Adam and Harrison both know what I'm talking about and who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to name no names.
Well, we know how you roll, Vic. We don't name names when we have you on the show, but I think I speak for Adam and Harrison when I say thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. Fantastic guest. Would love to have you back. For myself, Josh from OfferVault.com, Adam, the CEO of Ringba, Harrison, the industry legend, and Vic, Johnny Bling Vallo, the new money CEO and COO of Mobile Pushers. I think I got all that. Let's make that paper. Let's make that dough. This was the Affiliate Marketing Show. We will see you next time.